during the day in the full sunlight. But for the aircraft to land with the runway lights on will be something. The A380 right now, nicknamed the Super Jumbo, named the Super Jumbo by people who love the aircraft. It's called the Super Jumbo. Is the largest passenger aircraft in the world. It's outclassed the Boeing 747, which was the earlier favorite and the earlier largest aircraft. If you remove all the seats from an A380 and just turn it into an economy flight, then you will have over 800 seats on the A380. So you can imagine an aircraft with carrying 800 people. The idea behind A380 was that very simple. What Airbus thought was that time had come for people to operate for airlines to operate out of hubs. So their vision was that a Singapore Airlines would ferry passengers from, say, in India into Singapore, and from there on the flight would operate out of Singapore on smaller aircraft, regional connectivity. So the idea was to bring an aircraft in and then take people onto shorter destinations on smaller aircraft, while Boeing had a different view. Boeing thought that people would want to fly directly, so that's why they came in with a Dreamliner. So Airbus A380, the largest aircraft. The aircraft that is coming into Delhi Airport right now has got a configuration, a 3-class configuration. It's got suites. It's got economy class, of course, and business class. So 3 configurations for the A380, which is coming into land right now. 471 seats. That's what I'm told. As far as the food is concerned, yes, Indian food will be in place. Sajeev Kapoor, we are told, has lined up some interesting delicacies for the people who are going to fly out.
we'll try and patch Karma Paljo's commentary in just a bit. But this is Singapore Airlines A380, and yes, that particular airline, the first airline to begin commercial operations of this aircraft. As Karma has been pointing out, this is the world's largest passenger aircraft. It has touched down at Delhi's International Airport from Singapore in just a few minutes ago, and the airline, we believe, is going to fly the A380 on a daily basis to two cities in the country, Delhi and Mumbai. And approval for the aircraft's operations came in only earlier this year in the month of January. White space as far as this particular aircraft is concerned. It has 471 seats, 12 suites, 60 business, almost 400 economy class seats. And as Karma has been pointing out, the Delhi airport has had to do a little bit of changes, a little bit of modifications to make sure it can accommodate an aircraft really of this size. The aircraft itself, the Airbus A380, will be waiting for Karma to be patched on to try and find out whether other Indian airlines are in the queue for purchasing this massive super jumbo, as it's been called. But yes, it's a double-deck white body, it's 4-engine, and the range itself is massive, 15,700 kilometers. The seating could be changed if the configuration changes. Karma was pointing out how the welcome of any new aircraft to a particular airport has some kind of ceremonial aspects to it. I think Karma is back.
Lovingly called the Super Jumbo by people who follow this aircraft. The aircraft has touched down. This aircraft is the largest in the world. As you can see from the visuals, the aircraft has touched down into Delhi International Airport. The aircraft has 4 engines, was conceived by Airbus to do point-to-point, not point-to-point flying, but to operate into hubs. Their idea was that this A380 will operate into a hub like Singapore or a Dubai, and from there on, people will take flights on smaller aircraft. So that was the idea the A380 was conceived on. It has got a lot of space. The A3 has got a lot of space. If all seats are configured into just a single class, if we have only economy class on the A380, then we'll be able to fit in over 800 seats. I have someone here who's seen the A380 from the time the A380 was conceived. When you first went to Toulouse to see the A380? 4 years back. The A380 has landed right now. It's coming in, and there's going to be a water cannon salute. I mean, describe your feelings. You saw it first being made, and then now that you're flying it.
I think the whole day I've been very, very excited. Everybody in my office knew about it, my family knows about it. I'm really, really looking forward to the whole journey, to the next 5 hours, 5.5 hours, and to see how we are 471 up in the air, because I think there's 471 of us on the air.
But the aircraft has got a lot of space. So are you flying economy or business class?
In economy, but on the upper deck.
You're excited about the upper deck? Okay, so a lot of people are excited about the upper deck. Yes, this configuration of the aircraft, as she was talking about, 471 seats. It's got suites, the highest in luxury as far as the skies are concerned. In the suites, you have your separate sitting area where you have your entertainment deck, and to sleep off, you've got your little cabin. So that is the kind of luxury we are talking about on this Super Jumbo. People have configured the A380 according to what they like and what they want. Some having washrooms, a proper huge bedroom. So if you've got the money, you can configure this lovely jumbo, Super Jumbo as people call it, to what you like. Seat configuration, 471 seats on this Singapore Airlines flight. This flight, which comes into Delhi today, is a historic one as far as aviation history in India is concerned. It's not that A380s have not come into India before. The first moving flight was into Delhi, where the test pilot of Airbus made a terrific stop. In fact, he stopped, he used very little runway, so that was the first flight that we saw of the A380. Following that, there was a second flight by Emirates, and this one. The reason this flight is important is because this is the first commercial operation started by any airline. From Delhi, we'll have about 7 flights out of Delhi. So 1 per day, every day out of Delhi to Singapore. Then there'll be another set of 7 flights operated out of Mumbai. So 2 cities, twin cities. The clearance for A380 operations into India was given in January by the government of India. From then on, it took some time. Remember, to operate an aircraft of this size in India does take some preparations. The airport has to be prepared. We were speaking to officials of the Delhi airport. They told us, as far as the runway is concerned, there's no problem at all, because the new runway that Delhi International Airport has built is the longest in the world. I mean, it's the longest in Asia, and if I can correct myself, one of the longest in the world. The crew that's going to operate this flight already right now. The aircraft, because of its size, does require a considerable amount of people to run and operate it. So if you compare it to any of the bigger aircraft flying in the air right now, you can almost double the kind of crew that is required to fly this aircraft. So the Singapore Airlines crew who are going to operate this flight out of Delhi, they are here ready to take over. They'll be getting into the aircraft as soon as all the passengers who are coming from Singapore are out. They'll be making all the preparations right now. So it's a photo op of sorts for the crew who are going to fly out and take this A380 out.
Okay, we're going to go back to those pictures till Karma's patched again. The Super Jumbo landed there. Once again, Singapore Airlines, the first airline that is bringing commercial operations of the Airbus A380 to India, the world's largest passenger aircraft, touching down there at the Delhi International Airport. And Karma has been bringing us voices of many, many excited passengers who are all kicked up about getting on to this maiden flight. The airline is expected to fly the A380 daily to the cities of Mumbai and Delhi, and approval for the aircraft's operations came in only in January this year. This is the world's largest passenger aircraft, and Karma has been pointing out to the many, many configurations that are possible, the 3 configurations that are possible in this particular aircraft. And of course, this particular airport has also had to undergo some modifications to ensure that the Super Jumbo, this massive bird in a sense, can actually touch down. What we know of the Airbus A380, and from people in the know who've seen the aircraft right since the stage of inception in Toulouse, it's a double-deck wide body, 4 engines. The range is almost 15,700 kilometers. And in a very typical 3-class configuration, it will be able to accommodate about 500 people or so. The first flight of this Airbus A380 started in 2005 on the 27th of April, and it really has been pressed into commercial service with this particular airline, the Singapore Airlines, since about 2007. The Delhi airport, of course, has received this aircraft today, touchdown just a couple of minutes ago, about 7 to 10 minutes ago. And as I said, the airport has had to undergo some modifications to make sure the Super Jumbo or the Super Airbird in a sense has a perfect and a picture perfect touchdown. The runway as well as the entire network has had to undergo some changes. The airport, of course, was purpose built in a sense for the A380, a 4.43 kilometer long and a 75 meter wide runway. When the airport in a sense was refurbished, a matching network comprising kilometers of taxiways and really acres of apron size to support the weight. This is a 560 ton aircraft. and there is a three-pronged aero bridge for really quick access and outgo. Of course, with all of that also means an extra long baggage belts to clear the massive size and the massive number of passengers who would be accommodated on every flight. Karma spoke about the long airways, the aero bridges, and of course the firefighting capabilities also. Safety absolutely paramount, and they really have had to be at the highest level before Singapore Airlines ensured that touchdown of the A380. It'll be interesting to know whether there are any Indian airlines who are really in the queue for acquiring this piece of machinery.
So the A380 has landed. It is taxiing right now, as you can see from the visuals. The A380 landing into Delhi airport. There was inclement weather earlier. The weather did go bad for some time. About 19 flights were diverted. There were worries, but A380 keeping its date with Delhi. The aircraft that you see right in front of you is the aircraft belonging to Singapore Airlines. It is a date in aviation history because this is the first commercial flight operated by an airline into India. There have been earlier A380 flights before, but this is the first commercial flight that is operating from Delhi. Singapore Airlines will be operating about 14 flights from Delhi and Mumbai. This is the customary water cannon salute that is given to any aircraft, any new aircraft which comes into an airport. Also, as far as the water cannon is concerned, it is done when a new airline comes into an airport. So that is one of the customary things that all airports do for new airlines or new aircraft. So the A380 receiving its water cannon salute. This water cannon salute is significant because this is the first commercial flight to be operated from New Delhi Airport, the A380's first commercial flight. The A380, the first one, which was on a proving flight. The aircraft that came in earlier had no colors painted on it. It was an Airbus A380 on a test flight, proving flight as they call it. That flight landed earlier. There was a water cannon salute. Now this water cannon salute, of course, significant because this is the first commercial flight of Singapore Airlines into India. Wonderful sight this. You see water cannons mostly during the day, as I said earlier, but this water cannon salute, of course, coming in the night with the airport lit up. So what is going to happen next is that the aircraft is going to taxi. Now at this point, all precautions will be taken. We are told ground staff present in numbers there to ensure there is a smooth transition. Aero bridges which have been kept ready, 2 aero bridges will be taken out onto the aircraft, and after that all the passengers will come out. So this is the flight coming in from Singapore right now, and after that the aircraft is going to fly out. So a lot of interest. There is a crowd where I am right now. I'm at the departure gate number 15, from where the Singapore Airlines aircraft is going to take off later. So there's a presence of a lot of people here who just want to see the Super Jumbo. You know, the A380 has always been an enigma. It has been of interest to a lot of people, simply because it is one of the largest aircraft in India. It's quite a sight to see. It is different. It is different in terms of the way it is built and the sheer size. It's mammoth. That's the reason why it's lovingly called the Super Jumbo. So the aircraft has come in. People are rushing in. People are rushing in with their smartphones and cameras and taking pictures of the aircraft from where I'm standing. That's the departure gate 15. This is the departure gate that is going to be used for people who are going to be flying out. Interesting to note, a lot of families here have bought tickets to fly onwards to Singapore simply because they want to experience the A380. A380 services with Singapore Airlines was there earlier, but it flew from Singapore towards Australia or the longer routes. And that's been the idea behind A380. for a large aircraft of this size to operate into hubs and from there on fly on a smaller aircraft, to a shorter destination. Contrary to Boeing believed that their aircraft would be utilized for point-to-point flights. So this Super Jumbo, of course, changing the equations, saying that we want to fly passengers to hub, and that is what is going to happen with this particular aircraft. They're going to take about 471 passengers on this aircraft. They're going to fly them into Singapore, which is their hub. And from Singapore onwards, the passengers will either, some of them who are traveling to Singapore will stay back in Singapore, but many of them, of course, will be taken connecting flights onwards from Singapore. From Singapore as the hub, it will give them options because the range of the A380 is about 15,000 kilometers.
Okay, just a couple of minutes ago, and look at those massive, beautiful pictures. This is the Super Jumbo that has landed at the Delhi International Airport about 10 to 12 minutes ago. We're getting you these live pictures as the first flight has landed, and of course it's going to make its way back with lots of excited passengers that Karma and Reena have been speaking to. Many of them have bought their tickets months ago. I think I'm going to patch it back to Karma.
A date as far as aviation history in India is concerned, because this is the first commercial flight to operate in and out of India as far as the Super Jumbo A380 is concerned. So the flight has come in, passengers will disembark here, and a number of activities lined up for those who are flying out. Most of the passengers that we've spoken out, out of them, some just want to experience the A380. That's the reason why they bought their tickets to fly to Singapore. A lot of excitement, of course, because of the interest that the aircraft has generated. Just by the sheer size of the aircraft. If all seat configurations of the aircraft that you're seeing in front of you are removed, then it can carry over 800 passengers. And as you can see, the operations are continuing, the aero bridge being put. I guess the Delhi airport will take all precautions to see that this operation goes without a hitch. A ground staff present in large numbers there because it's the first time that the A380 has landed and started a commercial operation. A proving flight is different because we don't have the kind of passengers that we have on this flight. Non-commercial flight is also different, but this is a challenge. This is a test flight. From here on, Delhi airport staff, the ground staff who are operating this aircraft will have to do it again and again and again. Also, the number of crew operating this aircraft larger than any big aircraft of that configuration that we have today. We'll have 2-3 sets of pilots depending on the distance the aircraft will fly. With a range of about 15,000 kilometers, this aircraft can certainly go a distance.
मैं बताऊं, एक तो जो उस साइड पे कैमरा है उसको बहुत अच्छा शॉट मिला होगा, हो सकता है कि
Okay, so the passengers are beginning to disembark, and Karma has been pointing out to this big date as far as civil aviation history is concerned in India. The A380 making that first commercial flight to India, landing a couple of minutes ago. Many of the passengers who are going to be on the return flight really have booked their tickets for many days now. Obviously very excited to be a part of this particular maiden flight in a sense, or the early flights in a sense. But the pictures on your screen are of Singapore Airlines making that first commercial operation of the Airbus A380 to India. As we've been pointing out, it's a massive size, the world's largest passenger aircraft that touched down at the Delhi International Airport. And the airline is expected to fly the A380 to Delhi and Mumbai on a daily basis. There's been ground staff personnel that have waited for a good part of the day. There has been a ceremonial welcome that this particular aircraft has received. This is customary for any new airline that comes into the country. I'm patching it back to Reena Bhardwaj now.
The entire staff is here to welcome the guests who will be coming out of A380. There is a traditional puja thali here. There are mementos that are placed. Every face has a smile. Every hand has a mobile phone to capture the first glimpse of the A380. Now even I am actually turning back, pointing again to actually get the first look of the aircraft.
Okay, so the aero bridge is in place. The passengers will disembark any minute. This, of course, as I told you earlier, certainly a date with history as far as aviation is concerned. This will be the first flight by an A380, a commercial flight by an airline using the A380 here in India. As far as the challenges are concerned for the airport, there were a number of challenges. It is only in January that the government gave the regulatory clearance for A380 flights into India. Since then, of course, Singapore Airlines was the first airline which said that they are going to operate A380. The market as far as Singapore Airlines seems to be there because they've decided to put in about 14 flights from India to Singapore, 7 flights from Delhi and 7 flights from Mumbai. The passengers are coming out. We'll go across to Reena Bhardwaj for more.
So the aero bridge is of course connected to A380 and the passengers are trickling out of the aircraft. Each passenger that's coming out is actually surprised to see so many people there to usher them, and cameras are placed here. There are photographs that are being taken. They are a little amused about what's really happening, but of course they all know that history is being created in the aviation industry of India because the A380 is finally here in India.
Well, the Super Jumbo taking up most of News 360. We'll have to end it here. IBNlive.com is the place you can track all the news as it happens. India at 9 is coming up next.